Hello, friends. Welcome to English Refresh. Today, we have a special story. It's called The Boy Who Loves Stories, William Shakespeare's Journey. Let's listen to the full story. In a small town called Stratford-upon-Avon in England, there was a little boy named William. The year was 1564, long ago when the world was very different. Stratford was a busy market town with small houses made of wood and stone. The streets were narrow, and on market days, they were full of people selling bread, cheese, and colorful cloth. Green fields stretched around the town, and a quiet river called the Avon flowed nearby. William was born in a house on Henley Street. It was a small house with a thatched roof and tiny windows. His father, John Shakespeare, was a glove maker. He worked hard every day, stitching soft leather gloves for the people of Stratford. The gloves were beautiful, with little patterns on them. William loved watching his father work. "One day, I will make gloves too," he said. But John smiled and said, "You will do something even bigger, William." William's mother, Mary Arden, came from a rich family. She grew up on a farm with many sheep and cows. Mary loved her children very much. William was her third child, but her first two daughters, Joan and Margaret, died when they were very small. William grew up strong and healthy. He had three younger brothers, Gilbert, Richard, and Edmund, and two younger sisters, Anne and Joan. The children played together in the sunny fields near their home. They ran through the grass, chasing butterflies and picking wildflowers. William was the leader of their games. "Let's play knights and dragons," he shouted. His brothers and sisters laughed and followed him. William loved pretending to be a brave knight, swinging a stick like a sword. "I will save the kingdom," he said, making everyone giggle. William was a curious boy with bright green eyes and a big smile. His hair was light brown and a little messy. He loved listening to his mother's stories. Every evening, the family sat by the fire in their small house. Mary told stories about kings, queens, and brave heroes. She told them about a king who fought a dragon and a queen who sailed across the sea. "Tell me more, Mother," William said, his eyes wide with wonder. Mary smiled and touched his cheek. "One day, you will tell your own stories, William," she said. "Stories that make people laugh and cry." William hugged her. "I want to tell stories now," he said. Mary gave him a small piece of paper and a quill pen. "Write a story for me," she said. William wrote about a bird that could talk. He drew a picture of the bird with blue wings. "This is amazing, William," Mary said, kissing his forehead. William also loved watching plays. Sometimes, traveling actors came to Stratford. They set up a small stage in the town square. The actors wore bright costumes, red, blue, and gold. They pretended to be kings, witches, and funny clowns. William sat on the ground with his brothers and sisters, watching with big eyes. The actors made everyone laugh, cry, and cheer. One day, an actor pretended to be a lion. He roared so loud that William jumped. "I want to be an actor," William said to his father. John laughed. "You are only 5 years old, William. First, you must go to school." William nodded, but he kept dreaming. At night, he looked at the stars and thought, "I will be on a stage one day. I will make people happy with my stories." When William was 7, he started going to the King's new school in Stratford. The school was a small building with a big wooden door. Inside, there were long wooden desks and a blackboard. The teacher, Master Hunt, was very strict. He wore a black robe and carried a stick. "Sit down, boys," he shouted. William sat with the other boys. They learned Latin, a very old language. It was hard, but William liked it. He read stories about Roman heroes like Julius Caesar. Caesar was brave, William thought. I will write about brave people one day. At school, the boys also acted in small plays. William loved this part the most. He played a prince in one play. He wore a paper crown and spoke loud words. I am the prince of the forest, he said. The other boys clapped for him. William felt so happy. I love acting, he thought. But I also want to write my own plays. William was a dreamer. During lessons, he often looked out the window. He watched the clouds and thought of new stories. One day, he wrote a story about a magic river that could talk. He showed it to Master Hunt. This is good, William, the teacher said, smiling for the first time. But you must study more Latin. William nodded, but he kept writing stories in secret. He hid them under his bed. At home, he showed them to his mother. You are a dreamer, William, Mary said, smiling. Dreamers change the world. William hugged her. I will make you proud, mother, he said. But life was not always easy for William. When he was 13, his father got into trouble. John borrowed money to buy more leather for his gloves, but he could not sell enough gloves to pay the money back. He lost a lot of money. The family became poor. John could not pay for William's school anymore. William had to stop going to school when he was 15. He felt sad. I loved school, he told his brother Gilbert. I wanted to learn more. Gilbert hugged him. You can still learn, William, he said. You can learn from the world. William nodded. He started helping his father at the glove shop. He cut leather and stitched gloves. But every night, he wrote stories by candlelight. I will never stop dreaming, he thought. When William was 17, he found a new friend named Thomas. Thomas was a baker's son. He had red hair and a loud laugh. Thomas loved William's stories. Tell me a story, William, he said one day. They sat by the river Avon, eating bread. William told a story about a magic fish that could grant wishes. Thomas clapped. You are so good at this, he said. You should go to London and show your stories to actors. William smiled. Maybe one day, he said. But soon, William got into trouble. One day, he went to the forest near Stratford. He loved walking there. The trees were tall, and the air smelled fresh. But some people said William took a deer from a rich man's land. This was called poaching, and it was against the law. William was scared. I didn't take the deer, he told Thomas. But they don't believe me. Thomas frowned. You should leave Stratford, William, he said. It's not safe here. William was only 18 years old. He didn't want to leave his family, but he had no choice. Before he left, something big happened. William fell in love with a girl named Anne Hathaway, and lived on a farm outside Stratford. She was 26 years old, older than William. She had long brown hair, green eyes, and a kind smile. William met her at a market, and was selling apples from her farm. Hello, William said, shyly. Your apples look nice. And smiled. Thank you, she said. They talked for hours. William told her a story about a magic apple tree. And laughed. You are funny, William, she said. Soon, they fell in love. They got married in a small church near Anne's farm. The church had flowers on the door, and the sun was shining. William and Anne were so happy. A few months later, they had a baby girl named Susanna. William held his daughter and smiled. "You are my little star," he whispered to her. But William knew he had to find work to take care of his family. "I must go to London," he told Anne. "I will work hard and send money to you and Susanna." And hugged him. Her eyes were wet with tears. "Be safe, William," she said. "Come back to us soon." William kissed her. "I promise," he said. He took a small bag with his clothes and some paper to write stories. He walked to London. It was a long journey. London was far from Stratford. When he arrived, he saw a big city with tall houses, busy streets, and a wide river called the Thames. The streets were full of people shouting and selling things. William felt small in the city, but he was excited. "This is my chance," he thought. "I will make my dreams come true." William found a job at a theater in London. The theater was a wooden building with a big stage. People came to watch plays there. At first, William took care of the horses for people who came to the theater. He brushed the horses and gave them water. But he always watched the actors on stage. They spoke loud words and wore colorful costumes. William listened to their stories. "I can write better stories," he thought. He started writing small plays at night. He sat in a tiny room with a candle. He wrote about a funny man who lost his hat. He showed the play to the theater manager, a tall man named Richard. "This is good, William," Richard said. "You should write more." William smiled. "Thank you," he said. He wrote more plays, and soon the actors performed them. People loved William's stories. They laughed and clapped for him. William joined a group called the Lord Chamberlain's Men. They were actors who performed plays together. William acted in some plays, too. He played a funny clown in one play. He made the audience laugh so hard. But he loved writing more than acting. His first plays were funny stories called comedies. One play was called The Comedy of Errors. It was about two brothers who looked the same and got into funny trouble. People in London loved it. "You are a great writer, William," they said. William felt proud. Soon, William and Anne had two more children, twins named Hamnet and Judith. William loved his children, but he was sad because he lived in London, far from his family. He sent them money and visited Stratford when he could. One day, he brought a small wooden toy for Susanna. "I made this for you," he said. Susanna hugged him. "I miss you, Father," she said. William hugged her back. "I miss you too," he said. But then, something very sad happened. When Hamnet was only 11 years old, he got sick. William was in London when he heard the news. He ran to Stratford as fast as he could. When he arrived, Hamnet was very weak. William sat by his bed and held his hand. "Father," Hamnet whispered, "tell me a story." William tried not to cry. He told a story about a brave boy who flew to the stars. Hamnet smiled. But the next day, Hamnet died. William cried for days. And held him. "We will always love him," she said. William nodded. "I will write stories for you, Hamnet," he whispered. He went back to London with a heavy heart. He wrote a sad play called Hamlet. It was about a prince who was very sad, like William. People in London watched the play and cried. "This is so beautiful," they said. William worked harder. He wrote more plays. Some were funny, like A Midsummer Night's Dream. It was about fairies and magic in a forest. Others were about kings, like Henry V. It was about a brave king who fought in a war. But his best plays were sad stories called tragedies. He wrote Romeo and Juliet, a story about two young people who loved each other but could not be together. Their families were enemies, and the story ended with sadness. William also wrote Macbeth, a story about a man who wanted to be king but made bad choices. People in London loved William's plays. They came to the Globe Theatre to watch them. The Globe was a big round theatre near the River Thames. It had a wooden stage and a roof that looked like the sky. Sometimes, it rained during a play, but the audience didn't care. They loved William's stories too much. William was not just a writer, he was also a part owner of the Globe. He became rich and famous. William's plays were special because he understood people's hearts. He wrote about love, sadness, and dreams. He knew how to make people feel happy, sad, and scared. He also made up new words. Words like lonely, amazing, and gloomy came from William. He wrote 154 poems called sonnets, too. They were about love and beauty. One sonnet said, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" It was about a woman William loved. Even Queen Elizabeth I loved William's plays. She was the Queen of England, and she was very powerful. She asked William to perform at her palace. William and his actors went to the palace. They performed A Midsummer Night's Dream. The Queen clapped and smiled. "You are the best writer in England, William," she said. William bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty," he said. Later, King James I also became a fan. He loved William's plays so much that he gave money to William's group. William felt proud. "I am making my family proud," he thought. But he missed Stratford. He missed Anne, Susanna, and Judith. He wrote letters to them every week. "Dear Anne," he wrote, "I am working hard in London. I hope you and the children are happy. I will come home soon." And wrote back, "We miss you, William. The children talk about you every day." William kept a small picture of his family in his pocket. He looked at it when he felt lonely. One day, a big fire broke out in the Globe Theatre. It was an accident. The wooden theatre burned to the ground. William was sad. "My theatre is gone," he said. But his friends helped him build a new globe. "We will not stop performing your plays," they said. William smiled. "Thank you," he said. When William was 49 years old, he decided to go back to Stratford. "I want to live with my family," he told his friends in London. He bought a big house in Stratford called New Place. It had many rooms, a big garden, and a small pond with fish. William lived there with Anne, Susanna, and Judith. Susanna was married now, and she had a daughter named Elizabeth. Judith was married, too, but she had no children yet. William loved his granddaughter, Elizabeth. He played with her in the garden. "Let's find a treasure," he said. Elizabeth laughed and ran around. William also told stories to the children in Stratford. He sat under a big oak tree and told them about fairies, kings, and brave knights. The children listened with big eyes. "Tell us more, Mr. Shakespeare," they said. William laughed. "I will tell you more tomorrow," he said. William still wrote plays, but he was not as busy as before. He wrote a play called The Tempest. It was about a magic island and a kind man named Prospero. William loved this play because it was about forgiveness and love. He also wrote more sonnets. He sat in his garden with a quill pen and wrote about the flowers and the sky. William was happy, but he was also tired. His hair was gray now, and he felt weak. In 1616, when he was 52 years old, William got sick. He had a fever, and he could not get out of bed. Anne sat by his side. "You must rest, William," she said. William smiled. "I have lived a good life," he said. He wrote a letter to his family. "I love you all," he wrote. "Keep my stories alive." On April 23, 1616, William died. His family cried. They buried him in the Holy Trinity Church in Stratford. The church was quiet, and the sun shone through the windows. William's stories did not die. His friends collected his plays and poems in a big book called the First Folio. It was published in 1623, 7 years after William died. The book had 36 of his plays. People all over the world read his stories. They watched his plays in theaters. Even today, more than 400 years later, children learn about William Shakespeare in school. His plays are performed in many languages, like Spanish, French, and Hindi. Movies like The Lion King and 10 Things I Hate About You are based on his stories. The Lion King is like Hamlet, and 10 Things I Hate About You is like The Taming of the Shrew. William's words are still alive. He taught the world about love, friendship, and dreams. He showed that stories can make people feel many things: happy, sad, and brave. In Stratford, the big oak tree near William's house still stands. People from all over the world visit Stratford to see his home and his grave. They walk by the River Avon and think of the boy who loved stories. They visit the Globe Theatre in London, which was built again to look like the old one. They watch Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth and clap for William's words. William Shakespeare never forgot his dreams, they say. And the world will never forget him. William's granddaughter, Elizabeth, grew up and told her children about her grandfather. "He was the greatest storyteller," she said. And in Stratford, the children still sit under the oak tree, dreaming of their own stories, just like William did long ago. Thank you for listening to The Boy Who Loved Stories. Did you like William Shakespeare's journey? Tell us in the comments. What was your favorite part? Did you feel inspired by his dreams? Or did you learn something new about stories? We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to English Refresh for more fun stories. See you next time.